Oh, it looks like I'm live now. So we had some technical difficulties where we were slightly delayed. But good evening, welcome to our Tuesday night live broadcast. I am Dr. Apostle Eugenia J. Trailblazer Walker, and I'm glad to be here with you tonight. I'm glad that I am alive. I had a tremendous, prosperous, fruitful, productive day in the marketplace. And so, if you're with me, join me live. If you're watching replay, be sure to post replay and I will engage with you as well. So, good evening, Minister Shael. Welcome to our Tuesday Night Live broadcast. I was out all day today taking care of business, managing, making it happen, and I'm telling you, today was a very, very successful day. So, we are set to go back to the Hilton Hotel on City Avenue in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for our Game Changer Ultimate Pink Gala 2. We're going back to the Hilton. We'll be in a different setup, so come with different expectations. It's going to be greater, it's going to be grander, it's going to be more spectacular, stunning, breathtaking. It's going to be an iconic experience. Post that in the chat. Iconic experience. That's what we're planning, our core team and I. That's what we are being intentional about, that you experience the Game Changer Ultimate Pink Gala 2, sponsored by Divine Diamonds Ministries. And Divine Diamonds Ministry, we launched it in 2009, and so we're still going strong. Next year is going to be our 16th year in ministry, and I'm thinking that the Lord is leading us and calling us to have a sweet 16 celebration. So to God be all the glory. And so now we're on a new series entitled Build, Brand, Bloom, and Prosper. Next week, I hope to bring on a special guest, one of my branding experts, one of our branding queens, brand collaborator. I think you know her. I'm going to keep it a little surprise until later this week, but she is the brand iconic queen herself. So if all goes well, I'll be able to bring her on next week. And so I want you to, if you did not join us last week, go and listen to the replay. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. We talked about element number one, build. When you're moving forward, when you are, you know, looking to do a new thing, and when you want to expand your territory, enlarge your territory, when you want to grow, you got to be willing to stretch. You got to be willing to build. You got to be willing, like I say, dig wells. And in the book of Genesis, the 26th chapter, Isaac was digging wells, and the first well he had some contention, and the second well he had strife, and the third well he encountered, I should say, and he endured hatred and jealousy, and he was just trying to claim his inheritance. He was not taking anything that did not rightfully belong to him. But haters are going to hate. And so at the end of the day, he was a man of peace and a man of prosperity. And so through the wisdom of God, he did not stop and get entangled and tied up. He did not allow himself to be consumed by the enemy plots and plans, by the enemy's lies. And so he built up his most holy faith, and he moved on to the next well. And that happened in three significant findings in the book of Genesis. Well after well after well, they went after him. They tussled, and there was strife and arguments and jealousy and hatred. And so finally, he stayed the course. See, just make that a point. In building your faith, in building your confidence, and building up your courage, you got to stay the course. And everything will come at you. Everything will attempt to take you back, and you may even do some sabotage in between. But at the end of the day, if you remain faithful, if you remain focused and if you follow up, you're going to get to a place called we hope it. And Genesis 26 says, we hope it means that there's more than enough. God has made room for you to flourish, to thrive, to prosper. And so that's what time it is. It's time for us to dig wells. It's time for us to dive in deeper. It's time for us to, to anchor ourselves in our faith. And so you need to build up your faith. That's what I talked about last week, building up your faith, believing God for the impossible. The Word of God says in the New Testament, Mark and in Matthew, that if you would believe, you could speak to the mountain and it will be moved. So nothing is impossible to those who choose to believe. Nothing is impossible. And so you got to get that in your soul. You got to get it in your DNA. You got to believe that you believe that you believe, just like you know that you know that you know. And so we're moving forward. You got to build up your faith, build up your confidence, build up your tenacity, build up your endurance, build up your health so that you can run the race, so you can stay strong, build up your immune system so that you can run the race with endurance and you can receive the crown, the reward at the end of your journey. And so now we want to talk about branding tonight. This is going to probably take several sessions. Branding is a very, very, very large concept, one that is near and dear to my heart. Okay. And branding is not what you think it is. And so, what do you think branding is about? Write it in the chat. Let me know your understanding of branding, your definition of branding. What is brand? What is your brand? What is the meaning? What is the definition of brand? And so, there's brand and then there's branding. And so I'm going to be touching on both of those over the next couple of weeks because when we talk about brand, I'm talking about your personal brand, your personal brand. So write that in the chat. I'm talking about the personal brand tonight. And you, my dear, you are the representative of the personal brand. You are the brand. Hello, somebody. What you think about that? Yeah. What you say matters. What you do matters. What you believe in matters. Words matter. And your brand matters. And so a lot of times people think that brand is a business card, it's a logo. They think that branding, is about colors. Branding is about, your courses, your products, your services, your logo. And it's much more than that. It begins with a deeper work. It begins with you. Your brand is your mindset. Your brand is your mission. Your brand is your value. Your brand is your worth, how you perceive yourself. Your core values make up your brand. What you want to do and accomplish is a part of your brand. Your calling is a part of your brand and your branding. And so you want to get clear, first and foremost, about who you are. We can't go into branding without talking about who are you? Who are you called to be? Who are you called to serve? What's your mission? What is your passion in life? What is your purpose? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to leave as your legacy? Because all of those questions, all of those elements make up the total composition of your brand. We're not even talking about colors and websites and business cards and logos and fonts. We're not talking about none of that. We're talking about the core muscle of your brand, which is who you are. Who are you called to serve is another part of your brand that helps to develop your mission, that helps to develop your vision. And so you got to be crystal clear. And as I say, you have to be diamond clear about who you are, what you want to achieve in life, who has God, called you to walk with and to serve and to love. Who who are you? Who are you being? Who are you becoming? Because it's an evolving, growing, stretching, expanding, enlarging, non-stop, continuous flow of growth and personal development. And so it's paramount that you take the time out to write down your top core values. And I like to say, when you ask, what are my core values? Those are your non negotiables, things that you will not compromise about, things that mean everything to you, things that will make or break, your well being. That's why you're not willing to compromise, because without peace, there's no prosperity. Love is one of my core values. Where there is love, you're going to find me. Okay, love is my core value, and I have many ways to express that, to express my love through various manifestations. But the core of who I am is love. And so, with that being said, you have to be clear about your core values. Another core value of mine is family. Family is everything to me. I will lay my life down for my family, and I've already done it. I've died a couple of deaths in caregiving and taking care of my loved ones and serving them, and I would do it all over again, because the Word of God says, "To whoever seeks his life, seeks his enjoyment, will find death. And whoever serves, and even in dying as you serve, you will find life." And so at the end of the day, what you do, what you say, it counts. Who you serve, it counts. And it counts towards your brand. I could have chosen to be an advocate. And in some ways I do advocate for my loved ones, for my families, for my clients. But on a business side, it's coaching, it's mentoring, it's serving, and so my core brand is not about advocacy. No, no, no. My core brand is about serving and helping people to empower their lives, I should say. My core brand is about supporting and serving, empowering and transforming lives, making a difference, making an impact. And so there's a lot of elements that go in that, because remember I said the core non-negotiable core value was love. And so love gives, love bears all things, love covers a multitude of sin. And so you got to get real clear before you begin to talk about your brand. You have to begin to talk about your core values, your non-negotiables, the things that you will not compromise, the things that you will hold on for dear life, the things that make you who you are, the things that turn you on and may turn you off in the absence of those things, and you're not going to get there overnight. You're not going to really learn you overnight. It's a process. You have to do deep inner work. You have to make the time to love you, to take care of you. You have to make time for self-care, for rest, for recreation. You have to make time to get away, because Jesus got away, and be by yourself, hear your own self think, love you, know you, do you, be you. I'm right about it tonight. And so, it's a process of becoming. Yes, it's a process of becoming. And we don't get there overnight. It's a long journey. But what I want to encourage you to do tonight is stop and smell the roses. I want you to take time out and smell the roses. I want you to take time out to breathe, to pause, to rest. I want you to take time out to look in the mirror and ask yourself, who are you? Ask yourself, do you like what you see in the mirror? Ask yourself, are you pleased with yourself? Ask yourself, are you happy? Ask yourself, what do you want next in life? Because God has already put in our DNA the desire for more, the desire for next. He's already placed that in us. And so we got to take the time out to sit on the dock of the bay and to be quiet and to stand still and to meditate on his word. We got to take time out to meditate on God's words, because you're spending time in God's spirit when you meditate on his word. You're spending time in God's presence when you meditate on his word. And when you spend time in God's presence, God will talk with you. He will fellowship with you. He will, begin to unction you towards a particular place. He'll begin to lead you and guide you. You'll begin to hear that small, still voice. And that's going to give you clarity about who you are. That's going to give you comfort with all of your flaws and all of your mistakes. That's going to give you peace in the midst of chaos and confusion. That's going to give you hope when you feel like you've lost your way and you can't find your way. When you're feeling disease and discomfort, you know, being in God's presence will refresh you. Being in God's presence will revive you and rejuvenate you. Being in God's presence will make you comfortable with being in your own skin. Because when you realize that God loves you, there's no greater love, because his love is unconditional. You might say, well, what does this have to do with Brandon, Apostle? It has everything to do with Brandon. Because you got to know you. You got to do you. You got to be you. You got to love you. You have to accept you. And sometimes you have to encourage yourself in life, because life will throw curveballs and life can be disappointing. Life can be challenging. That's life. But there's joy, there's happiness also in life. So you have to look at the relationships that surround you. Who are you connected with? Who are you spending time with? Are you being fulfilled in what you do and what you serve? Are you being loved by the ones that you love? Are you being appreciated and honored and respected? Do you know your value? Do you know your worth? Do you like the skin that you're living in? Do you like you? And so when you begin to develop your brand, these are the kind of questions you have to ask yourself. Who am I? What makes me who I am? What's my purpose? What season am I in? Because life has seasons. And you got to know what time it is. You got to know what season it is in order to really position yourself to prosper. So when you think about brand, I want you to think about you. What you like, what you don't like. What motivates you? What inspires you? What rubs you the wrong way? What makes you excited? Why do you get up each day What causes you to be motivated and determined and focused? When you find the answers to that question, then you begin to unlock the door to the world of branding. Then you begin to get on the pathway of discovering and building, identifying, transforming your brand. Hello. Hello, somebody. Yes, yes, yes. I tell you, it's going to get good over the next couple of weeks. I wouldn't miss it if I was you. I would get here and get my notes and take notes and be ready to grow, be ready to be stretched, be ready to be encouraged and empowered. I love talking about branding because it's all about your personal growth and your personal development. It's about your message and your community. But first, you got to be clear about you. Before you can reach the masses, you got to reach the one. And who's the one? You. You are the one. You're the most significant person in your life. Hello, somebody. You're the most amazing person in your life. There's nobody else like you. You're one of a kind. You're unique. You're blessed. You're highly favored. You're the apple of God's eye. And so when you get to know you on that level, that in spite of your flaws, in spite of your mistakes, in spite of your miscalculations, in spite of pride, in spite of your ego, you still are a wrapped up gift with a bow on it, a red bow, I might add to that. You're still the best of you, the best of you. You can grow in the best version of you, but no one else can be you. Yes, we are all unique in our own way. We all have something to bring to the table. Some people bring the table and sit in the CEO chair and own the table. But if you're invited to the table, you have a part at the table. You have a seat at the table because you are unique, because you are special, because you are a peculiar people, because you are a treasure. Come on now. See, when you read the word of God, you'll find out who you are. God has the most amazing way in his word to describe who we are. And when you read it, you're like, oh, I'm more than a conqueror. I'm unstoppable. I'm undeniable. I am unbreakable. When you get to know you like that, because of the God in you, when you recognize that God has empowered you, that he's given you breath, he's given you life, he's given you everything that pertains to godliness. He's your covering, he's your strength, he's your help, he's your support, he's your healer, he's your doctor, he's your friend, he's your husband, he's your wife, he's your mother, your father, your dentist, your doctor, and your lawyer. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Get ready to live your best life. Get ready to live your best version of your life. Get ready to be made whole. Get ready to be healed. Because before you can do your work, you got to do your inner work first. Before you can work with other people, you got to do your inner work first. Somebody put in the chat inner work. You got to do the inner work first. A lot of times people are out here, preachers, teachers, leaders are out here bleeding on people because they haven't stopped their own bleeding, because they're still broken, because they're still hurt, because they're still mad and angry and they haven't forgiven. Okay, you got to first do you before you can do ministry, before you can do a brand, before you can do a course, before you can coach, before you can mentor, before you can train. You got to do you. And then you need to have a disclaimer. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I'm still developing. I'm still becoming. So ask them in advance to forgive you. Ask them for permission to be real and transparent, to be vulnerable. And that'll keep you close to God's heart. God does not like pride. And so when you lower yourself, God can raise you up. When you surrender, God will pull you up. God will promote you. God will bless you. He'll open up rivers and they'll lead into oceans of opportunities. To God be the glory. And so you have to first do your inner work so that you know that you know that you know that you're grounded and rooted in who you are. You're settled. You're focused. You are established. You are anchored. And so when the storms of life blow, you will not be moved. You'll be able to stand, stand strong, stand tall, stand confident, stand after you've done everything that you can do. You'll still be able to stand. That reminds me of my mother's favorite hymn by Donnie McClurkin, Stand. One of her favorite hymns, I should say, because she had multiple. But I own that one as well. Stand. We sung it at her homegoing service as well. Yes, stand after you've done all that you can do. And so we're just going to touch on Brandon tonight. We're going to go into a little deeper next week. But I want to give you a heads up. I want you to save the date. I want you to save the date because I'm going to be offering a free masterclass at the end of June. And so let me get that date for you. And you do want to sign up for it. It will be Tuesday, June 25th and Tuesday, June 26th. I will be offering a free masterclass along with another collaborator. I'm going to post a flyer tomorrow. We will have the website up so you can register by the end of the week. It's a two-part, 2-day masterclass entitled The Iconic Brand, The Iconic You. Somebody write that in the chat. The Iconic Brand, The Iconic You. So I'm super excited about it. I'm going to be, I don't want to say my guest name because I haven't confirmed it with her yet, but stay tuned. I may have some posters coming out real soon, the big announcement. And so stay tuned for what is about to launch on Tuesday, June 25th and Wednesday, June 26th, a two-part free masterclass, Iconic Brand, Iconic You. I promise you. And this series is just going to prep you for the deep dive on those 2 days. So I'm coming back next week with a special guest. Join me here. And I believe that'll be at 8 p.m. I had to come on 9 tonight. I was at the Hilton Hotel handling business. And so we're going to have registration opening up the end before the end of June. Registration, early registration will be opening up for our Game Changer Ultimate Pink Gala 2. Our 2024 Game Changer Ultimate Pink Gala 2. It's only about 5 months away. And you know what they say, that's right around the corner. So get your pink together. We're going to be on the pink carpet, black tie, formal. Get ready, get ready, get ready to shine at your best. Shine in pink. And that's our main color thrust. Also, black and white attire as well. And so I'm excited. God is doing a new thing. I'm excited. And so I want you to come back next week for my special guest. And then get ready for our new masterclass, June 25th and June 26th. The Iconic Brand, The Iconic You. And so get ready to dive deep next week. into your brand. Love you. Shalom.